Hello, you wonderful bunch of Grenade Fit. It's Ollie and Matt.
We are live.
Don't interrupt me. AKA Mollie. And today we're going to talk a little bit about training and nutrition, and more specifically, the basics of training and nutrition. And more specifically to that,
we're here to answer your questions.
This isn't going to work.
That's not, because I don't like being interrupted. And
No. Yeah, no one interrupted you. You interrupted me.
Oh, wait, what did you say there?
And more specifically, where people go wrong and misguided information and common mistakes. So we don't actually have any viewers yet, which is a pain in the bum, because it would have been nice to answer some specific questions from you guys. So next time we hold a webinar, make sure you tune in.
They should be lining up to get on here.
Yeah, the value from this is unbelievable. But what we're going to do is, because we know you can watch it back, is start talking about nutrition and training and the basics and the fundamentals. So Matt,
we have one viewer.
Yes.
Get in.
Who have we got? Put it in the chat, what's your name, and ask your questions. Whilst you're doing that, whilst you're typing, because I appreciate you can't type immediately, we'll start talking about training and nutrition. So Matt, start us off with the very, very, very basics of nutrition, what people should be doing, and where people often go wrong.
Well, where people often go wrong is they try and overcomplicate things too much, and they think that they need to sit down to eat plain chicken breast with rice. They get in this mentality, and it's a mentality that they can't literally follow day by day because it's boring. No one's going to maintain that forever. So it's about finding what works for you in your lifestyle. Enjoying foods that you'd like to eat as well.
That's something I talk about quite a lot. Sorry to interrupt you, mate.
It's fine.
Is adherence. Adherence is something that people always overlook. And what I mean by adherence is the ability to stick to a plan for a prolonged period of time. Because quite often, if the things that we're doing isn't so difficult, so dieting and training isn't so difficult, it's doing that for a long period of time, and that's what's going to get you results at the end of the day, is consistency. So where people go with the whole chicken and vegetables and rice, some people can do that, fantastic, and it will get you results.
If it works for you, then maintain it, it's fine.
But you need to be honest with yourself, and if you can't do that, then that's when you need the knowledge to be able to have some flexibility with your nutrition and be consistent and be adherent to a plan.
And another topic is people get caught up on a lot is like meal timing. They think that they need to eat within a certain time period, within a certain window, and they think if I miss a meal, I'm screwed for the day. It's not necessarily the case. You need to look at the bigger picture, which is your calorie intake for that day, even for the week in total, because if you messed up on a day, you can counteract that by having less calories for the next day. So you balance it out over the week, and you're not seeing that spike in your weight and freaking out, and then under eating for a whole period of 3 or 4 days, whatever. So
yeah, let's expand on that. So a lot of people have this misconception that the body works in this magical 24-hour period where you overeat on your calories for the day, it strikes midnight, and tough shit, you're getting fat. The scales might go up in the morning, but it's not the be all and end all. What you need to do is look at your nutrition on a much larger scale, so perhaps a weekly basis, and break your nutrition into 7 days. So if you're consuming 2,000 calories a day, for example, for weight loss, I'm not saying consume 2,000 calories a day. It's an example. It's a round number. It's easy for me to do maths. So over a 7-day period, you're consuming 14,000 calories. Let's say, for example, one day you eat 3,000 calories because you have a bit of a binge. It is not the be all and end all. You just simply need to get that 1,000 calories back over your weekly period. You can break that down over 7 days by reducing 100, I'm not going to do the maths, like 150, 200 calories a day, and be back on track with your nutrition. So really start to think about things logically and don't sweat the small stuff. And like Matt touched on with nutritional timing, these things are this important. Close my fingers are there. They're so close. That's how important they are. It's even closer than that. It's like that. They're not important at all. It's as you go up, the more seriously you take this, like Mr. Olympia, he's worried about nutritional timing. He's worried about when he's getting his carbs, right? When he's getting his protein.
It's going to make a difference. Mr. Olympia stepping on stage, then he's going to do it.
But that's right.
Yeah,
To
for
us,
the average person walking in through the door,
it just doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all. So guys, while we've got a few people on here now, we've got a couple of viewers, sort of stuff, please feel free to write your questions in the message box, and we will happily answer any specific questions that you have about nutrition, training, or just anything in general. So carrying on with our talk about nutrition and where people often go wrong. So we touched briefly on people making things difficult for themselves in terms of not having foods that they enjoy and getting bogged down with the small stuff like nutrient timing. So something else that we can talk about then is actually figuring out how many calories and macro. In fact, let's even take it back further than that. Let's discuss what calories are and what macronutrients are, because we hear it thrown around a lot. If it affects your macros are. A lot of people don't know what calories are. So let's talk about that. So what are macros, or what are the macros?
So your macros are made up of your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. Also, alcohol is a macro as well. So if you do go out at the weekend, make sure that you take into account you are consuming calories by drinking as well. So, but we'll not touch on that at the moment. So in terms of calories, you've got your proteins and carbs, which is 4 calories per gram. And then you've got your fat, which is 9 calories per gram. So obviously, if you have a high fat intake for that day, your calories are going to be shitting away up. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be eating a lot of food. So for me personally, I prefer like a high carb, moderate protein, and low fat approach, which gives me a lot of volume in my diet. So I feel full, and I'm not really, before I go to bed at night, I'm not looking to grab anything during the day. If you consume the flip side, if you're consuming a lot of fat during the day, you might not be eating enough, a lot of food, but you'd be really hungry as well. So it's just, in terms of that, you need to find the right balance, what works for you. Yeah, so touching on macros and calories, that's what's going to determine your results in the gym, more so than, like, you could come into the gym day in, day out, smash out the hardest session of your life and just not get the results. And then that's when people get upset, because they're training their balls off and they're not seeing any results happen. Or they do see results in the initial period, then it just stalls. And this mainly to do with your consistency and your diet and how well you're achieving that goal each day. And it is hard at times, because like, of course, even us as well, we do crave bad food, but you just have to look at the larger picture. And if you want to achieve them results, then you got to suck it up and just get on with it.
Brilliant. So Matt touched very heavily there on macronutrients, and what I'd like to talk about now is calories, and around quite a lot, and actually not too many people know what is a calorie. A calorie is just a unit of measurement, so it's just a tool for us as humans to know how much energy from any given food source or alcohol. Actually, you can get calories for anything. You can put this iPhone plug in a calorimeter, which is what deciphers how many calories something has, and it will give you a calorie measurement. I don't suggest you eat iPhone plugs, and also other phones are available. But a calorie essentially is a unit of measurement. So it's the rise in temperature of, basically what they do is they take a food source. So let's use an apple for an example. They plug some wires into it in this crazy machine called a calorimeter. They put it in a big tank of water that's surrounded by lots of thermometers, and they send a current through the apple up, and the thermometers measure by how much the temperature in the surrounding water raises in temperature over a minute. So the more the rise in the temperature, the more calories is prescribed to that food source, and that's essentially what it is. And where that comes into play with things like fat loss or muscle building is we need to pay particular attention to what our calorie consumption is. So let's take fat loss, for example. We all need a different amount of calories. We're all different. We're all different shapes, sizes, genders, and we have different needs. Some of us are more active in the day in our day-to-day work. Some of us train more often than others. And so the number is completely different for everybody. So what you need to do is figure out how many calories you need. Doing that is on our Grenade Fit website and using the TDEE calculator. So
what you might find as well, and the majority of the time this is the case, is every time I nearly give a new meal plan to a client, they always look at it and go, "Are you sure that I need to eat that much?" Is it how much food you can actually eat while still losing weight? And a lot of clients, or a lot of people, get caught up in the misconception that I can't eat that much and we put on weight and freak out about it. But if you do eat the right amount of foods and the specific calories for your daily macro intake, you will get the results. So again, don't be afraid of eating during like 5-6 meals a day. Get used to breaking it into that amount of volume.
Yeah, sorry, I just stopped talking in the middle there as I received the message, and it's actually to do with this webinar. I'm really, really hoping that you can see us, guys, but I am aware that you may not be able to ask us questions and they may not be coming through. If that's the case, then I apologize, and it's something that we'll get sorted for the next webinar, definitely. But what we'll do is we'll just carry on speaking about generally nutrition and training, and then next time we'll be sorted so that you guys can ask us questions live. So we've spoken about calories and macronutrients, and how to, did you touch on how to figure out what your calorie intake should be for the day on TDE calculator?
Yeah, you touched on the on the one on Grenade Fit.
Yeah, so go on the Grenade Fit Hub, TDE calculator, input your details, and then that will tell you exactly how many calories.
And if you do get them numbers, we all use it. It's called MyFitnessPal, so you can download that app and put the intake of macros on that, your proteins, carbs, fats, and then you can daily log your food easily on that, and just do it. Get into the habit of doing it every day as well, because again, consistency, and it's going to make you accountable. Log it on and making sure you're getting them macros in, and that's the only way you're going to achieve your results, really.
Brilliant. So we've touched heavily there on nutrition, so hopefully you're starting to get a good understanding of the very basics of nutrition.
And it is about keeping it basic as well. There's no point getting bogged down in the too much. Like, people think there's one diet that's going to magically make me get results. There's not. Just be consistent and keep it simple. That's all you need to do.
And I think we live in a day and age where we're all very able to get hold of a lot of information with the internet, with magazines, and it's very readily available now. And actually what we sometimes cause is paralysis by analysis. And so there's so much information coming at us, and we think we need to do all of these things to get the job done. And actually, really simple, really basic, and get fantastic results. I really, really urge you to check out the Eric Helms strength and nutrition training pep pyramid. And that really gives you a good indication of what's important and what's not important. And essentially it's got energy balance at the bottom being the foundation, the most important part of your nutrition plan, macronutrients, and then you're looking at things like and supplements. Those are the small things that we're going to look at them last. Once we've got all this shit in place first, then we can worry about the stuff at the top.
Yeah, if you look at that pyramid, people normally have it flipped around.
That's right. And
they think that like stuff like supplements come first, when realistically supplements do help on a small scale. Things are marketed, they make people believe the opposite.
That's it. So moving on to training briefly now, and again we want to take things right back to the beginning and make sure that it's the very basics for you guys. So we're just starting from ground level, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and common mistakes. So most importantly is you enjoy doing is the most important thing. It comes back to adherence, because it's massively overlooked. If you go to the gym every single day and step on a treadmill for an hour, yes, you may get some fat loss results. Are you going to enjoy it? Hell no. If you don't enjoy it, you won't consistently do it, subsequently you won't get results. So make sure you're doing something that you enjoy doing.
Exactly. And again, like people, there's a lot of different methods of training out there. Pick one that works for you, pick one that you enjoy. Like people slate a lot of different things, different programs. People slate CrossFit, but if people's getting fitter, healthier, and they're enjoying it, then all be like whatever floats your boat, really.
Apart from snapping the back.
Yeah.
No, joking. We done CrossFit once. We went to the Morn.
We lost about 10 pounds.
Yeah, honestly, I lost all my gains. Yeah. Like muscles, I don't have muscles anymore. No, I'm only joking. But it's exactly like Matt said. There's a lot of cults in the fitness industry. You have to do CrossFit. You have to be a bodybuilder. You have to whatever. You know, there's so many different things. Just do something that you enjoy doing, and you're more likely to get results that way, doing something you enjoy doing consistently than doing something that you absolutely hate, because you're just not going to want to do it day in, day out.
But I hate Peggy, and I do it like 3 times a week.
Peggy's a different one. She's a bitch, but you just
keep
coming back for more. I don't know why. It's an absolute bore. Sorry, it's not even past the watershed, and I'm throwing these words around. Please excuse me. So again, sticking with training as a topic, we really have to this training is make sure that you're practicing the movements safely and correctly.
Yeah.
So if you haven't got a trainer or somebody giving you some guidance in the gym, so somebody maybe that's more experienced than yourself, just make sure you really do your homework and you're carrying out the lifts correctly. The great thing about the Renee Fit Hub is that all the workouts have the videos attached to the exercises, and so you should get a perfect demonstration of how to do each exercise safely and correctly. Safety is very important, especially with your compound movements, the squats and your deadlifts. It's very easy to injure yourself if you're not doing these exercises correctly. So yeah, sounds cheesy, but safety first, guys.
We all have to start somewhere as well. Coming into the gym, like I remember when I was 16, joining the gym and training for like 3 hours, thinking I was doing the world of good, when honestly I was just wasting my time. So again, training to your own advantage. Like, you shouldn't really be spending more than an hour and a half in the gym if you're training hard. Again, when you're coming to training, make sure you're doing the lifts safely, as Ollie said, and you're picking a weight that you can manage. There's no point in trying to impress your mate by lifting a weight that's 20 kilograms heavier than what you should be doing, and potentially put yourself out for months on end by being stupid. So make sure you leave your ego at the door, as they say, and lift weights that's going to make you progress.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And something that I want to touch on briefly is program with prescribed sets and reps. People don't often go wrong with sets because you just do that many sets. It's not, you know, it's not rocket science. But reps is something that I often see people doing wrong. And what I mean is, so let's say, for example, you're given a rep range of 15 reps. Okay, so you need to do 15 reps on this exercise. You don't go in, shoulder press, 14, 15, done.
Yeah.
If you are not failing at 15 or around 15 reps, you're not lifting heavy enough for that rep range. Okay, so the idea is to lift as safely as possible to the prescribed rep range. So what I mean by that is, if you can get more reps, so you're getting 17, 18 reps, you need to increase the weight so that you're failing at 15 reps.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something I wanted to pay close attention to, is the rep range and making sure that you're working to that prescribed rep range correctly. It's something I see going wrong quite a lot.
Remember, you're going into the gym to get results, so train like an absolute beast every session that you go on as well, because either way, some people just go on and spin the wheels. How many people do you see in a gym and you're a member of, and they haven't changed within 2-3 years? They're still the same. They're probably still doing the same shitty routine. And you know, some people walk into the gym, barely break a sweat, and walk out thinking, "Oh, I've done a great workout. I'm heading to McDonald's." You know, wasting your time. So yeah, make sure you're getting enough out of that hour, so you're nearly coming to the gym going, "Fuck, I couldn't actually got any more work in." I absolutely busted myself. Like at times I wake up the next day after doing a body part, whatever, and if I don't feel it being sore, if I don't feel achy, then I go, "Fuck, I didn't push myself that session."
He said achy there, not eggy.
Eggy.
That's his accent coming through. But he's right. He's absolutely right. And honestly, I get anxious now training with this guy. I get anxious about every session. In particular, leg day. Like, the nerves before leg day are real. The struggle was real.
Twice a week.
Twice a week, and it's like, I just blink and it's leg day again. And my legs are sore all the time.
All the time.
All the time. But my glutes, they're pumped, constantly pumped.
Yeah.
I get so many compliments on how good my glutes are. So it's working. But I mean, I think we've covered quite a lot there with training and nutrition. And it's a real shame that we haven't had the comments feature here. And like I said, it's something that we're going to get on next week. I think it's something actually wrong with the YouTube channel that I've linked the live stream to. So that should be an easy fix for the next webinar.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that. That will go out on the Grenade Fit Hub, I presume.
Yeah.
But hopefully,
don't forget as well, at the end of the month, the Mollie show is going to be actually holding a seminar at Grenade Fit. We are actually releasing tickets for it as well, which you can get.
So what you can get. Let me
We have
show
a
you.
fucking pen about the shop.
Right. There's got to be a pen in there somewhere. This is Jamie's desk, by the way.
Yeah.
So
the tickets are actually being, well, they were out today.
if you are a male, if you're a male, no females, sorry ladies, then visit Mollie hang on, bear with me. Mollie dot. Let me get this right.
Eventbrite.
Mollie.eventbrite.co.uk.
And it will look like that when it comes up in your phone, yeah?
So what this is going to be, guys, is on the 4th of September, a seminar with Matt and myself talking about training and nutrition again, but in a lot more detail than today, and also an intense metabolic session with ourselves where you can get a good sweat on Peggy. So I appreciate that's backwards, but it says mollie.eventbrite, which is spelled brite.co.uk. And if you're quick, you can get the early bird tickets on there. So make sure you get those, and we will see you on the 4th of September, and we will see you on the next webinar when hopefully we can have a chat as well. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Peace.